Well, hey everybody, this is gonna be my last vlog from camp. I've kind of enjoyed doing this, and my friends seem to like watching these, so I'm thinking I may keep them up even when I get home. Right now, I am working on rearranging my Jeep. I'm calling it the Great Rearrangement because if you notice, I can't turn the camera around unfortunately. It's a little crazy. This is 11 weeks worth of stuff that I've just accumulated over the weeks. So I'm taking all the windows off my Jeep so I can go through it. I also need to find my wallet because I don't know where that is. So yeah, that's what I'm going to be doing for a bit. Do you want to hang around and watch me do that? I mean, you can if you like. Don't really have a good place to hold you, to put you. But yeah, it was a good summer. I really enjoyed it. 2 sessions was probably a little too long for me to work. I was kind of barely making it through. You know, there's kind of that, you kind of have that buffer between where you're really snappy and kind of irritable. You kind of have that buffer. That buffer was getting very thin towards the end of the summer. I would like to work next year, just one session though. I have to ask my boss though, because I work for a pool cleaning company, and you know, cleaning pools is kind of a really important thing in the summertime. So I'd basically be asking him to let me off in the most busy time of the season, which I had already signed up to work here when I got the job for the pool cleaning company. So I was really trying to work here because I felt kind of obligated since I had said I would. But, you know, I'm not obligated to work here now. So I'm not sure if he'll let me or not. I'm hoping he will. He's a cool guy. The boss is a cool guy. So I think it's he might be okay with it, but you know, I don't want to be presumptuous and be like, hey, I'm going to work at camp again. He'd be, you know, and kind of have him have to be okay with it. Is my wallet in here? Gotta find my wallet. I do not want to be driving a lot without my wallet. Yeah, so basically, if you didn't figure out what I'm doing, I'm taking everything out of my Jeep, everything, like everything, and repiling it. So at this point, I'm not worried about things getting dirty. I'm going home, I can wash it all, because I know how to wash clothes now. Yeah, took me 18 years of life to figure that out. Had to wash them some last year, but not much because I was only here for 3 weeks. And I went home one of those weeks. Let's see, my Cockroach jumpsuit. That has no meaning to y'all if y'all haven't worked here. So this year at camp, I don't know if I've talked about this, but the theme was superheroes. Now, I kind of like superheroes, if you haven't figured that out. So I was really excited for this year. So I think I came with 6 or 7 costumes and only used like 3 of them, 2 or 3 of them. So I ended up sending some home near the end of the session, just to start moving home and get some things out of the way. So I really ended up just keeping my Spider-Man costume that you saw in a previous vlog. But I was also involved in this Wednesday night skit where we go out to this campfire. And this one, it has there's this movie producer, and she's making this low-budget superhero film in this rural town. So, you know, we're out in the middle of nowhere filming this thing, or in the story. We're not actually filming it. We're not actually filming it in real life. And so she comes out. She has her kind of helper assistant. He's saying, I don't know about this. I mean, aren't superhero movies supposed to be in the big city? And she's like, no, we're gonna do something new. We're gonna be out in the open. We're gonna be in the country. It's gonna be great because we've got two of the biggest stars. We've got our first one is Chris Evans, or Press. I don't remember exactly what his name is. He comes out and then end up saying, hey, you're co-starring with someone. He says, I don't do co-starring. But they end up introducing the co-star, and it's Bobbert Frowney Jr. And they have a lot of fun. They have a lot of quips back and forth. Press Evans is, of course, dressed patriotically. He's got kind of this Uncle Sam hat. And at one point, Bobbert says, this wasn't scripted, we added this in. I was like, that's rich coming from you. What are you, a mix between Cat in the Hat and Uncle Sam? That always gets a good reaction from the kids. But in the story they're talking about, okay, and in this script we have this villain named Cockroach who's going to come out. You know, they're talking, you know, the name Cockroach keeps coming up. And finally they say, okay, like they're trying to film some things, it's not working. They've already tried once. They're like, okay, let's just go to one of the end scenes where you're sneaking into Cockroach's lair, sneakily sneaking into Cockroach's lair. And so Bobbert, he has a sound effects guy who's like, cue sneaking music. So they start playing the sneaking music. They creep around, and then I run out and actually take him out. So the director runs up to me and says, Cockroach, what are you doing? Didn't you read the script? And, of course you read it. Of course I read your script. I decided to make him Mexican. It was outrageous. And we added this in fairly late, but I burned the script because we have a fire there. Because like the last couple of weeks, like the first weeks when I would show up, you know, the kids like, you know, kind of meh. Like, who is this guy? He looks kind of cool, but meh. But I was like, I gotta do something to actually get them on my bad. I have to get on their bad side somehow. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna burn her script. So it's just this piece of paper. So I grab it from her, wad it up, throw it in the fire. And that always, the last couple of weeks, that always got a reaction from the kids, which was so much fun. It was like, of course I read your script. And I throw it in the fire. It's like, oh, he burned it. And of course, the director plays it. I'm like, no, that was the only script, or something like that. But my costume for that, oh yeah, it's right here, was a green jumpsuit. These boots right here. If anybody knows what kind of boots these are, please tell me, because I'm not sure what they are. I thought they were motorcycle boots, just kind of with how beefy they are, but I'm not sure. Got them at a garage sale for $5. But I used those. I used a green jumpsuit and this, which is, of course, some football pads, and everything else on here is basically zip tie knot to it, and it's stuff I bought at the Dollar Tree store. And that made, so actually, like, the girl who helped come up with the script for it made this villain named Cockroach, and I actually have a supervillain that I came up with named Roach. He's just Roach. He's kind of a lesser villain, not all that impressive, but he's funny because he's like disgusting because he lives in the sewers, wears flip-flops everywhere, and he has this computer pack that he can use to like mentally control cockroaches. Cockroaches and other bugs like moths, things like that. The idea for that came when I watched some video on like mind control, and they were talking about that they've done that with cockroaches and moths, where they've actually made the moths and cockroaches remote control. I thought, ooh, that could be a cool villain. But I kind of adapted him and changed him from being a lesser villain to a greater villain, which is where he took on the French accent and kind of the more bulkier look with the shoulder pads and stuff. But that was fun. That was fun. And then the stunt people, there are stunt people in this skit, and they end up coming out and beating me up. But yeah. Wow, that was long. Anyway, so I've been recording 10 minutes. I think that is long enough. So, see you next week.